Hey guys, Bird here. And we all know by now that all 800 plus Joann fabric stores will be closing, possibly as early as May. Today I made the drive out to the Westminster location to check on the liquidation progress and to see if the discounts are really improving. What brought me into the store today was Joann's Instagram post and their app. Both were advertising up to 40% off. Naturally, I had high hopes that fabric had finally been marked down to 40% off. The last time I was here, most fabric was only 20 to 30% off, so I was really eager to see if prices had actually dropped. Before I walk you through the store, let's take a quick look at Joann's website and their app. I strongly recommend that you do not try to buy anything online right now, and you'll see why. On the app and also on their Instagram post, clearly it says all stores closing take up to 40% off. And that is the part that we really need to focus on. It is not 40% off across the board. It is up to 40% off. As you browse online or on the app, you may actually see a specific price for an item, but as soon as you click on it, the website will show that it's not available in any store or not available for shipping. It's incredibly frustrating and misleading because the website gives the impression that items are still in stock when they're actually not. I recommend that you not try to purchase anything online. If you see something that you really want, I recommend that you actually physically go into the store to purchase it in person. Walking through the store, there was only a very small section that had a few bolts of pretty much holiday fabric that was 40% off. That was it, guys. Other than that, all of the fabric was either 20 or 30% off, and there were even a few areas where the fabric was marked down to only 10% off. Initially, I thought maybe something was wrong and the signage hadn't been updated, so I took a moment to ask one of the staff members, and they confirmed that indeed the 40% off discount only applied to holiday fabric, a very small selection of fabric. The rest of the fabric, as I've mentioned, is somewhere between 20 and 30% off. The Westminster store is still very well stocked for now, but I did notice a few key areas where things are starting to thin out. I also saw a few fabrics that I would love to add to my stash, but honestly, at 20 and 30% off, the prices are still higher than I'm willing to pay. If you're looking for zippers, thread, or sewing notions, I'd recommend going sooner rather than later because those items will sell out fast. One thing to keep in mind, this is no longer the Joann fabrics that we knew and have grown to love. Yes, the store still bears the name, but this is not Joann's anymore. The court-supervised sale means the company is now fully operated by the liquidation firm GA Group, and there may be some other liquidators involved as well. So what exactly does a liquidator do? Their main goal is to sell everything at the highest price possible in order to pay off debts. That's why we are not seeing deep discounts yet. They will try to sell as much as they can, starting at 10, 20, and 30% off before increasing the discounts. The slower inventory moves, the steeper the discounts will get. If people keep buying at the lower discounts, and I'm not telling you what to do with your money and whether you should wait until later, I'm just giving you my thoughts here. But if we buy at the lower discounts, Joann or the liquidator really has no reason whatsoever to drop the prices quickly. This is why I'm personally waiting for better markdowns, but that's a gamble and it depends on how fast things sell out. If you're expecting deep liquidation sales, we're definitely not there yet. Right now, fabric, as I've mentioned, is 20 to 30% off, and that big 40% off sale is only for a small selection of items. I drove about 30 minutes to check out this store, and hopefully this video will save you a trip. I'll keep you posted, I promise, on the discounts and when they become a lot deeper than they are currently. I'll keep my eye out on not only this location, but multiple Joann locations to see if prices drop further. One thing I keep noticing, not just in this location, but in every Joann locations I visited, and from what I'm hearing online, is the overwhelming amount of fleece. There are aisles and aisles of fleece, way more than any other type of fabric. If you're looking for cotton, knits, or garment fabrics, the selection is much smaller. But if you need fleece, you have endless options. I've also heard from many people online saying the same thing. It seems like Joann heavily overstocked fleece at some point, and now it's taking up a huge portion of the liquidation inventory. And since fleece isn't something that every sewist needs in bulk, honestly, I don't really need any of it at all. My guess is fleece will remain until the very last day that the store remains open. Some areas are definitely starting to look a bit picked over. The thread section in particular is thinning out, and you can clearly see the shelves becoming bare. However, I did notice there's still some Gutermann thread available at 40% off. I took a couple spools to the register, but even with the 40% discount, the final price was much higher than I expected. It seems like the original prices have been marked up, making the sales price less of a deal than it appears. One thing I've been thinking about is how slowly the liquidation process seems to be moving. In a typical going out of business sale, we'd expect bigger discounts by now, especially since all 800 plus Joann stores are set to close. But right now, the discount off really has not shifted at all. Why is that? Well, as I've mentioned earlier, Joann is no longer running the show. This is all controlled by the liquidation company. Their goal is to sell as much as possible at higher prices before dropping discounts further. A pressing question is, should you stock up now or is it better to wait? At the end of the day, that is really only a question that you can answer, but I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it. If there's something you absolutely need, like thread, interfacing, or a specific fabric that you've had your eye on, I'd recommend buying it sooner rather than later, especially since items like zippers, thread, and sewing notions are already starting to disappear. But if you're looking for a good deal, I'd say wait. Most liquidation sales don't hit their steepest discounts until the final weeks, and right now we're still in the early stages of markdowns. It's all about balancing the risk. Waiting could mean lower prices, but it could also mean missing out on what you want. Personally, I'm holding off on major purchases until I see better markdowns. Let's talk about sewing notions and tools. If you're looking for them, this might actually be the time to grab them. Whether you're looking for sewing pins, rotary cutters, scissors, any of those types of things, this might be the time to grab them. Keep in mind that the discounts are not deep, but these types of sewing tools and notions really won't be around much longer. I can't really speak to whether these prices are good deals because honestly, they seem inflated. Even with 25% off, some items are still pretty expensive compared to what we used to pay with a Joann's coupon. I may be completely wrong, but it seems like the original prices were marked up. So even though there's a sale, it doesn't feel like you're actually saving much. At the end of the day, it is what it is. If you need something now, grab it. But if you're hoping for true clearance prices, you might want to wait and see if the deeper discounts roll out. Another thing I keep noticing, not just in this store, but in every Joann's I visited lately, and maybe I just hadn't paid attention to it previously, but it is the huge amount of non-fabric items. I've come across home decor, kids' toys, craft items, woodworking sets, and even kitchen items like cooking utensils. These are things that you normally wouldn't see in a fabric store. It really feels like over the years, Joann tried to expand beyond fabric to compete with stores like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and even Home Goods. But in the process, fabric and sewing supplies got pushed aside. Now during this liquidation sale, it's even more obvious. One thing that shouldn't be overlooked in all of this is the impact on Joann employees. If you're in the store, please be kind to the employees. This transition is tough, and many of them are just trying to finish out their time at Joann's the best way that they can. That's it for now. I'll be keeping an eye on multiple Joann locations to see if prices drop further, and I'll update you as the liquidation progresses. If you want to stay updated, don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notifications so you don't miss any updates. Drop a comment below. Have you been to a local Joann store? What kind of discounts are you seeing? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.